Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Glens Falls Common Council meeting. It's Tuesday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. We are ready for our regular session. Tonight, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll let Councilwoman Gooden lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we'll begin. We'll open up with public comments. If there's anyone from the public like to address the Common Council, please come forward and give us your name and your address. Seeing no one coming up. Peter, do we have anybody online that would like to talk to us?
There's no one right now.
All right, I'll give him a moment, right? Under committee reports, we'll go with Councilman at Large Clark.
Thank you, Mayor. The Council's Community and Economic Development Committee met on February 1st, Wednesday, to work on our ADA transition plan. We're pretty close to having it done, just a couple little tweaks, and we should have something to present to the council for approval. So we're moving in a positive direction. So,
Fantastic.
thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Donahue.
Well, I'll tell you, in the next Common Council meeting, because it's the third Tuesday that we meet for sustainability,
So next
I still
Tuesday,
think we're-
you'll have your meeting?
yeah, trying to hash things over.
Okay. Thank you. Councilman Landry, committee reports.
Thank you. Just wanted, the Labor and Personnel Committee has a resolution put forth this morning, or today, resolution number 27 in regards to retiree health insurance. Just a reminder that what we're actually doing is we're joining a municipal consortium located here in New York State. We'll be going from Humana to Aetna Insurance, and the benefit changes. There's pluses and minuses in it, but it actually, I think, equals out to be maybe a better policy for our retirees. And the savings, hopefully, for the city will run somewhere in the vicinity of $130,000 to $150,000 a year.
Thank you. Any more good news?
That's great news, isn't it?
Thank you. Councilwoman Palmer.
The Building and Codes Committee will meet on the 27th at 1 p.m. And the Recreation Committee met on the 3rd. We went through the plans for all of the parks that we plan to do court rehabilitation projects on. We did some budgeting, and we will be meeting again on the 28th to look at our bid documents and decide if we're ready to go out to bid. But we're really excited because it'll be improvements to parks all across the city. So Montcalm, Murray Street, Sagamore Street, Eastfield. It's really good. Yeah.
Brand new day.
Yeah.
Thank you. Councilman Lappin.
The Technology Committee met on February 1st at 11 a.m. We discussed the WISP update from Orbital Fire. There's some specifics in there that we went over about when policy should be read and attested to by staff. A conversation about who the city's chief information security officer is or will be. Have not yet settled on that. And talking about audit recommended risk assessment. There's a portion of that for the cybersecurity that we're entitled to under our existing contract. So we'd like to get that and use that as a basis of doing a larger risk assessment for the city, because that's what has come up in the audit for 13 years. So it's probably time to address that. We discussed cameras, and there was an issue that StirTech alerted us to, where the police department wanted to be able to switch on and off cameras, and that led to more questions for us about what we needed to do, so we kind of tabled the cameras at that point, that discussion, and we'll be getting back to that. Talked a little bit about internet consolidation. Tech had said that we could probably, do something to get some better savings or some better service, but we wouldn't be able to do it by doing a total consolidation job, because some of the things that we have are, we have some contracts that are below market that we wouldn't really want to touch. We talked cable franchise agreement. Our contacts with Charter/Spectrum is out, expecting his first child, so we'll pick that up again in the spring. And just a C-Click Fix update is that staff says that they're proceeding on schedule, and we should see some features rolling out in the near future. Then, Climate Smart Communities Task Force met on February 8th at 7 p.m. We started doing some Earth Day planning, and I'm working with Amy in Parks and Events, and also Lydia from Sustainable PR is helping out, and she's gotten a number of different things rolling with this. Amy was saying that we could probably get we got a commitment from Sarah Frankenfeld to help us with some things. We wanted to do some things like maps where we could kind of detail where the city's done some sustainable projects and kind of just add a legend to what those are. So, we could have a big part of it where it's a little crosshatched to say, all these lights are, LED lights now. And then we could maybe show where we've got community gardens. We could show where the vertical garden is and things like that. We're doing more discussions of getting other partners in too. So we've got, like, Cornell has worms, so they can kind of help us with doing some demonstrations on composting. And we reached out to Soil and Water, and they're interested, but it's just right at the time that they're doing their seed sales. So their level of interest might be that they might supply us with something, or, we'll have them involved one way or another. We also, at that time, trail system is doing like cleanups around the state for the whole 3-day weekend, so we'll probably connect in with one of those and either do on a separate day as Earth Day, do a cleanup, or do a cleanup before we get into the main part of the Earth Day celebration. We were thinking things like the Connector Project over on Murray Street would be something that we could highlight during that time. Also, Warren County Bikeway cleanup came up as something that would be a good thing to do during that Earth Day. We've got talks with Josh from Capital District Planning, who's one of our partners for Clean Energies and Climate Smart Communities, and he's going to help us to getting the paperwork kind of filed to get a $10,000 grant that we're hoping to use for the HVAC here, just like a small portion of a $1.5 million project.
Every little bit helps.
Every little bit, that's right. It's like, it's tip money. So, we've got, we kind of had another, just from the CDTC program to sustainability committee, we just talked about that a little bit. I talked about that last council meeting. We talked about the Interis Climate Smart, or the carbon greenhouse gas inventory and climate plan updates. Jeff Flagg said that the Interis is going to have a document for us very shortly for at least the municipal part of the greenhouse gas inventory, and we're looking to get our the stuff that we have been done into DEC's portal so that they know that we're faithfully following up on our grant obligations. There's more on the solar project, but we're also talking about hydro, because at the point that we actually move on the solar project, it's probably gonna take a couple of years. And that's about it there, so that covers that.
Very good.
Yeah.
Anybody got water? Drink of water? Councilwoman Gooden, committee reports.
Mike, Councilman Ed,
Yeah.
we'll be meeting the 21st, this coming Tuesday at 2 o'clock. And we're real excited with our agenda. We're going to be moving forward, and we'll have a report at the next council meeting.
Great, thank you. Let's see, moving on, we'll go to voice vote. The resolution 1 is a resolution to approve the minutes of the January 24th, 2023 meeting of the Glens Falls Common Council. Resolution 2 is to approve the city clerk's monthly and PVB report. And 3 is a resolution to approve the local government's historian's 2022 annual report. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Under roll call vote, I'd like to pull number 9. We had a meeting at Water and Sewer yesterday where we were reviewing applications for, I think, the RFQs for our grant. They were unable to make a full recommendation, and so I'm just going to pull that until they're ready to move that. They're going to also have the conversation and make sure they get the Water and Sewer Commission, and then once it's done, it'll come back to the council for your approval. Okay? So, are there any other roll call items the council would like to pull for discussion? There are lots of them. It's a long run. There we go. All right, got that water, Councilman Lapham, and I'm gonna need it. So here we go. 4 is a resolution to increase the fiscal year 2022 general fund expense account, A23310-4479, electric, by $6,176.19. An increase fiscal year 2022 general fund revenue account line A009999-2680 by $6,176.19 for monies received to replace a light post and bollards at Centennial Circle. 5, whereas the 2022 ending balances of the police department special accounts are as follows: $23,911.37 for A00999-2626 federal forfeiture and crime proceeds, $40,663.97 for A-00-999-3098 state forfeiture and crime proceeds, and $6,125.80 for A-00-999-2702 PAL and General Fund. A resolution to carry forward these balances of the 2022 General Fund revenue account to 2023 federal forfeiture crime proceeds fund revenue budget A-00-999-2626 by $23,911.37, and to increase budget code expense appropriation A23125-4479 by $23,911.37. B is a resolution to carry forward the balance of 2022 General Forfeiture Fund, 2023 State Forfeiture, Crime Proceeds General Fund Revenue Budget Line A-00-999-3098 by $40,663.97, and to increase the budget code expense appropriation line A2-3126-4479 by $40,663.97. C, a resolution to carry forward the balance of 2022 General Fund Revenue to the 2023 Police Athletic League. General Fund Revenue Budget Line A 0099992702 by $6,125.80, and increased budget code expense appropriation A 2-3124-4479 by $6,125.80. 6 is a resolution to authorize the controller to transfer $7,266.05 from fiscal year 2022 general fund expense line A 23410-4401-1 EMS training to fiscal year 2023 general fund expense line A 23410-4401-1 EMS training. 7 is a resolution to authorize the controller to decrease A 11990-9000 contingent account transfers by $26,063.12, and increase A 11910-4470 city insurance by $26,063.12 to pay 2023 general fund liability insurance premium in that line. 8 is a resolution to update the amended City of Glens Falls annual 2022-23 taxi fees, fare and fine structure included in local law 7-2022 and provisioned in chapter 198 of the City Glens Falls City Code as attached. 9 we pulled. 10 is a resolution to increase revenue code A 00999-3789 other economic assistance aid by $345,000, and to increase budget expense code appropriation A 56989-4487.1 to economic development SBRF grant by $345,000 in order to pay the grant reimbursements from New York State Office of Community Renewal, Small Business Recovery Fund, New York State, including $29,137.17 to the SBR Fund applicant, SBRF-01, Cooper's Cave Al, as attached. 11 is a resolution authorizing the creation of the capital project and borrowing for the City of Glens Falls City Hall HVAC replacement project with a total project cost of $1,567,250 at a maximum estimated amount of $1,750. $1,750,000. Don't I wish, right?
Right.
$750,000. 12 is a resolution to authorize the issuance of $1,128,250 in bonds to the City of Glens Falls, Warren County, New York, to pay the cost in connection with the replacement of the HVAC system at City Hall, Glens Falls, in percent city as attached. 13 is a resolution to approve the City of Glens Falls Community Development manual payments in the amount of $25,814.29. 14 is a resolution to approve the city hereby awards applicant 2021 HB-003 a grant deferred loan with forgiveness clause after 10 years to purchase an eligible home in accordance with the home and CBG program budgets located in the City of Glens Falls, Warren County, New York, and the grant will be in the amount not to exceed $24,000. 15 is a resolution to authorize 2 public hearings for the City of Glens Falls Community Development Program. The first to be scheduled on Tuesday, March 14, 2023 at 7:20 p.m. and the second hearing to be scheduled on May 9, 2023 at 7:20 p.m. for the purpose of reviewing the city's program year 2022 Entitlement Community Development Block Grant Program and establish the funding priorities and a draft budget for the city's program year of 2023 CDBG annual action plan under year 4 of the city's 2020 to 24 HUD consolidation plan. 16, the resolution that the proclamation approved in January of 19 by the Glens Falls Common Council to be remembered in perpetuity, and shall not be implied that Henceforth, every January 22nd, the city of Glens Falls shall now be known as Solomon Northrop Homecoming Day, in honoring of the 2023 being the 170th anniversary of that event, as originally proclaimed by then Mayor Dan Hall on January 22nd, 2019. 17 is a resolution to retroactively approve an encroachment permit signed by Mayor Collins on January 31st, 2023 for the Associates of Glens Falls, owner 100 Glen Street and 136 Glen Street, 140 Glen Street, and 67 Warren Street, Glens Falls, to place a lift on the sidewalk at each property to remove holiday wreaths from January 31st, 2022 to February 1st, 2023. January 31st, 23 to February 1st, 23, while allowing pedestrian access and adhering to all PROAG regulations, in addition to having a competent person to direct any persons from walking under the lift while in use per city code enforcement officer. 18 is a resolution to approve an encroachment permit for Liberty Tax Services, 5 Broad Street, Glens Falls, for the placement of the sidewalk sign on the sidewalk in front of the business on the current date through April 15, 2023, in compliance with all PROAG regulations for public access on the sidewalks. 19, a resolution to approve an encroachment permit for National Grid, 1125 Broadway, Manans, New York, to tie into an existing gas main feed at 38 LaRose Street, Glens Falls, on January 3rd, 2023, following the city's engineer's general requirements. 20 is a resolution to approve an encroachment permit for National Grid, 1125 Broadway, Manans, into an existing gas main to feed the 62 Orville Street, Glens Falls, on January 6th, following the city engineer's general requirements. 21 is a resolution to authorize the controller to decrease the ambulance cash account A-0207 by $45,213 and increase the general fund line A23410-1000 Fire Department Personal Services by $45,213 to distribute the health care bonuses eligible to fire department employees under Governor Hochul and the New York State legislatures for 2022-2023 budget, part of ZZ Chapter 56 of the laws of 2022, which requires that bonuses be paid. 22 is a resolution to adopt the standard workday and the reporting resolution as a requirement of the New York State Local Employees Retirement System for allowing the titles and elected officials based on their activities. 23 is a resolution to increase the revenue line A00999-4089 by $21,448 and increase expense line A11620-4478 City Hall and other contracted services by $21,448 and to approve the contract with barrier-free elevators to upgrade the elevator controls in City Hall elevator car to meet the 2019 code requirements. 24 is a resolution to approve the reappointment of Peter Fidiopiasis at 148 Ridge Street, Glens Falls, to the Board of Assessment Review for the term of 10/1/22 through 9/30/27. 25 is a resolution to grant a permanent, not exclusive easement to the 26 Glen Street LLC to authorize the mayor to execute and deliver the easement agreement and the necessary documents to 126 Glen Street LLC. To enable the easement to be recorded in the Warren County Clerk's office, and the cost of recording the said document shall be the responsibility of 126 Glen Street LLC. 26 is a resolution to authorize the controller to increase revenue line A00999-4089 government aid by $28,060 to then create an expense line of munis personal A11430-2200 equipment and increase that expense line by $28,060. Also to authorize the Human Resource Department to implement Kronos InTouch timekeeping system and authorize the mayor to enter into contract with Andrews Technology HMS Inc., with a one-time cost of $28,060 for equipment and the annual fee of $11,235 for the contract period of 5 years to run timekeeping system throughout the city. 27 is a resolution to authorize the mayor to execute an intermunicipal cooperation agreement to become a member of the Finger Lakes Municipal Health Insurance Trust, and Aetna, as negotiated with the FLMHIT to provide health insurance for post-65 retirees. The city of Glens Falls agrees to terminate the agreement with Humana and then enroll post-65 retirees into the Aetna Medical Advantage Plan effective May 1st, 2023. 28 is a resolution to authorize a public hearing on Tuesday, February 28, 2023 at 7:25 p.m. to consider the passage of local law to amend vehicle and traffic code 208-50, Schedule 3, one-way streets, and to amend vehicle and traffic 208-53, Schedule 4, prohibited right turns on red signal, and to amend vehicle and traffic 208-58, Schedule 11, parking prohibited at all times. 29 is a resolution to approve the warrant. Do we have a motion for a roll call vote?
So moved. Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman at Large Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Donovan,
Yes.
Councilman Landry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ballmer,
Yes.
Councilman Lapple,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Glidden.
Yes.
Thank you. Old business, Councilman Clark.
I would just like to commend the mayor for his ability to get through this council agenda, and thank him for that. I do want to say I'm thrilled that we are now getting a time system in the city of Glens Falls. It's been long overdue, and it will be a great asset to the functionality of our staff and the city government. So I applaud everyone for being a part of that. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Donahue, old business.
Nothing this night.
Councilman Landry, old business.
I'm not sure where this belongs. Old business is probably the place. With the nice weather, I find myself outside walking, and I walked down South Street today. And I drive up and down South Street a lot, as I'm sure a lot of us do. Lo and behold, on the side of the Hot Shot building is a sign that the state of New York gave us, listing all of the participants in the downtown DRI and identifying the property as a DRI project. I drive by there all the time, I never saw it. I was just wondering if maybe DPW could get a couple 4x4s and put that sign in the middle of that lot, kind of announcing that we've got a big project coming there.
That's a great question. Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Palmer, new business, old business, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to report that I held my third ward community forum with Supervisor Bramer. We had a good kind of engaged group of constituents. Councilman at Large Clark was there too. Issues that they were concerned about. They asked us a lot about sidewalks and snow removal. I know that that's coming up in a lot of different places. They asked about trees and tree planting, short-term rentals and absentee landlords, and there was some concern about motorized bikes, not actually on the bike trail, but on the streets, and people making sure that they're riding the right way in traffic and things like that. So those were the issues that people were concerned about, but there was a point to actually compliment DPW and our police department from constituents who said that they were really grateful and cited several examples where they had come and been timely and done a really good job. So I wanted to share that and also thank our employees for their hard work.
Thank you. I don't see Kate here for a hip hip hooray.
Yeah.
Ben, old business.
Old business, I had some constituents commenting to me today about the article that was in the Post-Star about snow removal, and I just wanted to just kind of read into the record what we have on the books for snow removal, and I think as far as the council goes, that the council has addressed this previously. It's been addressed in the charter, and it's been addressed in Article 14, Section 189. And it reads as follows: prompt removal, sanding. The owner, occupant, or person in charge of a lot adjoining a city street shall remove the snow from the sidewalks in front of such lot within 5 hours after each snowstorm, and shall keep the sidewalks clear of snow and ice, and when slippery, keep the same safe by sanding or other effective means. A storm ceasing during the night shall be considered as ceasing at 7 a.m. the following morning. 189.32, placement upon street. No person shall, in removing snow or ice from a sidewalk or property adjoining a public street, cause the same to be placed in or upon such public street. 189.33, placement upon fire hydrants. This is one that Bob always points out when there's a storm coming. No person shall, in removing snow or ice from a sidewalk, driveway, parking lot, or elsewhere, cause the same to be placed upon or around any fire hydrant in the city of Glens Falls in a manner which would obscure or obstruct the use of said fire hydrant. Penalties for offenses, which is 189.34, any person, firm, or corporation convicted of violating the provisions of this article shall be punished by a fine not to exceed $250 or imprisonment for a term not to exceed 15 days or both. So that's what's in the code. In the charter, which is what we would, the city incorporated under in the first place, it says construction and repair of sidewalks and curbs, removal of snow and ice. I'll just skip down to the removal of snow and ice because I've already spoken a lot. And I don't think I'm getting any objection from that. Where the owner shall fail or neglect to remove snow and ice or other obstructions from any such sidewalk after it has remained thereon for more than 24 hours, the superintendent of public works shall have it removed. In either such case, a bill for the expenses incurred thereby shall be presented to the owner in the same manner as the service of notice for the above cited, which was for sidewalks that need to be repaired or constructed. If the owner shall fail to pay the same, the superintendent shall file with the common council a certificate of the actual cost of the work, together with a statement as to the property in front of which the work was done, and the same shall be added by the common council to the next city assessment levied on that property and collected in the same manner as the general city tax. So I'm just bringing this up because on Wednesday last week, we had two citizens from the 4th Ward, now in the 4th Ward, previously in the 3rd Ward, like in December 3rd Ward, January 4th Ward, present 19 different, one of them had 19 different addresses, and we have not had a snowy winter. We've had a very, very mild winter with not very much snow. But the 19 one citizen had, and the other citizen had 50. And it was all around my area. I know there's more elsewhere around the city. So we have what I consider to be a cultural problem of not removing snow in the city. And I get it from Joy all the time that I'd like to be able to run out in the, but I don't feel comfortable running in the streets. And nobody should feel comfortable running in the streets. We have sidewalks. Where we have sidewalks, we have, our constituents are asking for this. We have code and we have charter telling us how we can do this, and I just wanted to make that statement.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Good. Old business.
Old business. I just want to mention the Glens Falls, our library, along with the Glens Falls chapter of the NAACP. On Tuesdays, we're showing documentaries. We call it during Black History Month, but I call it American history. It's our history. But during this month, we will be showing films, and they're outstanding. It's worth the time to go and see them. We're really trying to encourage our youth to come out and see them. So they'll be next week while it's next week, the week after. When they're out of school, we're going next week. We're going to have a 2 o'clock showing for our youth, because they're excellent films, and we really are trying to get them to come out And I really would like to also just mention the Northrop. I was just at, this past, a couple days ago, time goes so quick. And we were there with the judges, our beloved Kate Hogan, she invited us and we went and sang.
That's awesome.
And it was just so, it was just so moving. I was just so happy we were a part of it. And, you know, they reached out to us and wanted to be a part of it. But that's what we are all about. You know, we're here for each other. And, you know, our history is so rich. And our children really, it's up to us to teach them because it's not being taught. And they need to know our history. It's all of our history, but it's important history. So, thank you.
Thank you. Can you remind me where those, you said at 2 o'clock next week, is it Tuesdays?
Tuesdays, yes.
And every Tuesday?
Oh, yes, at the library.
At the library.
And at 6 o'clock, we feed you. Jocelyn, we have a caterer. She's outstanding.
That's all you need to
We
say.
feed you, right?
I don't know if you got enough to go around.
She does.
So to be clear, this Tuesday's at 2 o'clock.
Yes, yep.
Or, and.
Well,
or
this
next
Tuesday will be
Tuesday.
2 o'clock. And then in the evening, it's always in the evening, that's right,
All right.
at 6
Very
we
good.
start.
Thank
But
you.
we'll have food during the day also.
And regarding the Solomon Northrop, I gotta be honest, when we were called and asked if we were gonna recognize it again this year, I was like, Solomon Northrop's didn't live in Glens Falls, and so I
Well, he
made Chip
did.
know he did live
He
in
did.
Glens Falls.
Yes,
And
he did.
There's full documentation that he
Yes.
lived here.
That's right.
And so Chip found that out, and that's why it's on your agenda.
Thank you.
And I was shocked, that was great, what a
Yeah.
cool thing to do. So,
Thank you.
because the movie doesn't mention Glens
Well,
Falls at
years a
all.
slave,
I think
no.
we should
No.
protest that.
That's right.
Let's see, so, new business, Councilman at Large Clark, please.
Well, I just want to, I hope I don't steal Councilwoman Palmer's thunder, but I just want to say what a wonderful time I had at Fire and Ice last Friday. It was great. There was, the weather was all right, but it was nice. The DJ was banging out some wonderful music, and the kids were all having a good time. And over here, these old guys and myself hung around the fire and had a good conversation. So we really enjoyed it, and really appreciate your efforts in getting that started. So thank you, Councilwoman.
Great. Councilman Donahue.
Nothing this time.
Councilman Landry, new business.
Just a comment again, that was my first fire and ice that I ever went to. And even though the attendance was low and the skating wasn't great, it just had a family feel. And whether you had 10 people or you had 200 people, it's well worth the effort, so I enjoyed that. Just like to announce that the Glens Falls Collaborative is going to sponsor the first Glens Falls Restaurant Week, March 5th to the 11th. An initiative aimed at showcasing the diverse selection of cuisine in the city. And this is throughout the city, not just in the downtown areas. So mark your calendars for that. I want to thank Warren County Parks and Recreation Department for, I requested the installation of an additional sign on Lexington Avenue near the bike trail, asking drivers to slow down in this highly pedestrian bike area. Every effort to slow cars in this area would be appreciated. And lastly, again, on my walk today, I'd like to congratulate the Glens Falls National Bank for their almost completed renovation project at their main offices on Glen Street. The walkways opened back up. I think they did a wonderful job maintaining the ceramic nature of that building that they did. That definitely cost them some money to do that, but it looks very good in our downtown area. And hopefully with these renovation efforts, they'll bring some more employees downtown, and that'll benefit our downtown. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Palmer, new business, please.
We had a candidate for the social worker position, which is good because we've been looking for that for a while. So, we don't know how the process will go yet, but that's good news.
That's great news.
Yeah, great. And I also want to thank everybody who volunteered last week. I know it wasn't the perfect week because it was a little slushy, but I think people a great time. I got lots of pictures from people. Unfortunately, we do have to cancel this week because it's in the 50s all week, and it's just not actually safe. Whereas last week it was safe, but just kind of a little messy, right? So I think it just highlights how important sustainability efforts are with all of this fluctuation in climate, and I'm glad that Glens Falls has really been a leader on our sustainability efforts for years now. So just wanted to make a note of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
New business, Councilman Lapp.
Yeah, I was just kind of following up what Bob was saying about slowing down traffic and, you know, just kind of working from that. I had a conversation with the mayor yesterday, and we were talking about that and talking about really kind of changing the focus in the city to be more safe, to provide better opportunities for active transportation, whether it be walking the streets or bike riding or micromobility of any kind of sort, or even just transit, using the transit system. Glens Falls has some great features which we could really position us for being a great community for pedestrians, bikes, rollers, transit, and active transportation in general. We have a relatively small footprint. Any point of the city is essentially walkable for a healthy adult. We have an infrastructure that with work can provide access not only to healthy adults, but also to people who are less able. We have a walking school district. We already have a maximum city speed limit of 30 miles per hour. But I think we need to change our culture and attitudes to embrace our accessibility for all. Vision Zero is a strategy to eliminate all traffic fatalities and serious injuries. It declares that 0 is the only acceptable number of traffic fatalities and serious injuries. I just repeated myself. The vision is motivated by the widely shared value of protecting the health and safety of every road user, motorized and non-motorized alike. Vision Zero makes explicit that death and injury from traffic crashes are unacceptable in our society. The safe systems concept refers to an intentional approach for achieving Vision Zero. It recognizes that humans make mistakes, that we can only achieve Vision Zero by integrating safety improvement efforts amongst all traffic safety stakeholders, road designers, vehicle manufacturers, policymakers, enforcement agencies, families, workplace, schools, etc., in order to create a safe system. A safe system approach is one in which practitioners work to design, build, and maintain a transportation system that promotes safe road user behaviors, human factors, and protects all road users from physical harm, forgiving systems. All stakeholders in this system are responsible for reducing crashes. It's a shared responsibility. The U.S. DOT defines a safety culture as the shared values, actions, and behaviors that demonstrate a commitment to safety over competing goals and demands. Traffic safety culture encompasses the values, assumptions, and beliefs that influence road user behaviors and stakeholder actions. Communities with a robust safety culture have citizens who understand the risks associated with transportation and choose to make safe choices when using the transportation system. The Federal Highway Administration also recognizes that transportation agencies have an organizational safety culture. The extent to which safety is valued and pursued by transportation agency indicates the strength of that organization's safety culture. As social beings, we are naturally motivated to choose behaviors consistent with the culture of the groups with whom we identify. Thus, our behaviors and actions are influenced by a shared culture with the groups to which we belong: families, friends, workplaces, agencies, communities, etc. In this case, our goal is to cultivate a strong and consistent safety culture that promotes safe road use behavior. By growing a strong safety culture, safe road user behavior is reinforced and sustained by the social environment. Vision Zero and the Safe Systems approach are also based on a specific set of values, assumptions, and beliefs. For example, Vision Zero values safety above all other priorities. The belief underlying The Safe Systems approach is that Vision Zero can only be achieved by integrating traffic safety efforts that include growing a strong safety culture to motivate the integration of safety efforts, applying appropriate speed management policies, and engineering safer roads and vehicles. At the core of Vision Zero is the need for safe behavior by all road users. Thus, an important function of safety culture is for transportation stakeholders to measure road user culture and develop strategies that transform this culture to encourage and sustain safer behaviors. Necessarily, this will result not only in road users choosing to be safer themselves, but also helping other people become safer too. Vision Zero is our target. Safe Systems is our approach for reaching that target. Safety culture includes the values, beliefs, and attitudes shared by stakeholders that ensure that we succeed together. Thank you.
Thank you. New business, Councilwoman Goodman, sorry.
I know you can't remember.
Yeah.
I think it's all been said.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. So let's see, for new business, first I just wanted to say that I wanted to make sure I have a shout out here to the DPW for all the work they've done this season. They're very busy. They did a heck of a job cleaning up, and I do agree with Councilman Lapham. It has not been a heavy winter season, and I think they've done a great job with even though it's not particularly a really bad season. I also wanted to make some notes of some things. So, Councilman Clark, I'm going on vacation in March, the 7th through the 15th, so I wanted to get that on your calendar and let everybody know that I was going to leave town and we won't allow any bank robberies while I'm gone again, like the last time. So, I wanted to talk about a whole bunch of things, just to quickly mention some progress happening. Councilwoman Palmer, Monument Street, the Board of Public Safety recognized that they could use some traffic calming device. We did get a hold of John, I apologize, from Glens Falls, Huggins from Glens Falls, and he does think he can help us pay for that safety. So that's been acted on, and now we need to go out, price it, and then reach out to John and get that work, but it was done. The Vision Zero that Ben mentioned was also mentioned. New York City gave at the mayor's conference that I was at late last month or early this month, time is flying by. They mentioned how you could, they applied to the State Department of Transportation for special permission to use cameras to get just the license number of cars that are going more than 10 miles an hour in their school zones. They were able to, and they had double-digit fatalities in these areas in the previous year. Were able to use the data. It was so successful that they ended up asking for more to go farther outside of the school areas to do after school, because their original approval to the state was to just do during school, like an hour before school or an hour after. But it was so successful that they've able to really have huge numbers. Now, although that we haven't had a fatality, knock on wood, in a long time, we had one fatality of somebody last year who was walking in the middle of the road at 5 o'clock in the morning. But still, even though those numbers are more rare, certainly here, we could do the same thing. So they had a great program. I'm going to work with our community development director to get that. The woman who made the presentation from Manhattan said she'd be happy to share their information and the data. Again, we'd have to do stuff, but I think that because our police department is so small, that it's not like we're going to be able to enforce our way to a safer streets. And I think we've all agreed in the last year that we're seeing busier and busier, where the success of Glens Falls is leading to busier and busier streets, right? At the beginning of the year, we had comments by businesses that have said, we don't have a parking problem. Well, now those businesses are calling on a regular basis, geez, it's funny, we do have a parking problem. We've known it for a long time. We have a parking problem, we have traffic concerns. I also wanted to mention that we've got approved through the Glens Falls, I'm gonna screw it up, the Transportation Council, GF.
Glens Falls Transportation.
Yeah, thank you. And so they are gonna help us with a citywide evaluation of our streets and our sidewalks this year. That's been approved, and they've been helping us with other audits of dangerous streets. We've already set aside money in the budget that you've approved for DPW to replace traffic lights, so that's coming. And there was one more about, I wanted to mention that the DRI, progress moving forward. Today we received the request from our architects to get on the planning board for final approval of the Market Center. That's coming. We're also not even waiting for that. We'll be working on the RFPs to go out regarding looking for bidders to construct that property. I wanted you to know that was all moving forward well, and the phase one, Bonaccio and the banks are under, so that would be the other part, that phase one that is moving forward. Encroachment permits, we will be having later this month, in the next week or two, we'll be unveiling a new encroachment permit system where we've got new applications, new processes. We've realized that our PROAG regulations are more restrictive, I'll say, than ADA restrictions. And so we need to, what we'll do is send a letter out to everybody who's done outside dining, let them know about this, give them the new application, because those applications run from June 1st to May 31st annually. So we'll get that information out to them by the end of this month, and then we'll set up a meeting and let them come and meet with us. We'll have a couple public meetings to discuss and let them tell us about their concerns. We know that by the size of the sidewalk, there are going to be people who are not able to have as much outside dining, and that is going to lead to a lot of heat coming this way, and I feel bad, but we're going to be upfront and talk to people and try to help them understand that public safety has to come first, right? And sidewalk accessibility. I also wanted to quickly recognize our new building codes department and the work that they've done. Nothing contrary to what Councilman Lapham said. He's right. Mary DeSantis and the other lady, I'm meeting with them this week. They would like to help clean up, help maybe form some groups of volunteers that might help senior citizens that can't clean up their sidewalks. I think that's a great idea, but we've handed out we've got 7 people going to court this month regarding their sidewalk infractions. It's not nearly enough, but Justin has got one last week, I think. I'm sorry, by the end of this month, Justin will be done with his training. PJ will have another, I believe, 1 month because he was hired later, and they're spending and making this a priority. Nobody's disagreeing, and I just wanted you to know of the progress that was happening. And so that is, I think I've now rambled on to, see, click, fix. All the categories have been created, and now we're calling in those department heads, and we'll be reviewing with them how to then go on, how we think that this is about interacting more with constituents on a public-facing level, where somebody has a concern about a sidewalk or something else can quickly go on an app and register that concern. It goes straight to the department, the person in that department that might be working on that. They'll have a certain amount of time, maybe a day or two, to say, yes, we got this. Then as they fix it, it'll go uploaded automatically, and everybody who's got a concern about that area will see it. That's what See, Click, Fix is about. You guys are the ones who made the investment, wanted you to know that's all coming. As soon as we've had the individual meetings with the department heads as to how that this will affect their department, then there's a training that they're all going to come together for a full training from the company. But that's where we're at with it. We had a meeting with them, today's Tuesday, yesterday. So we are progressing. Wanted you to know about that. And that's it. Thank you for approving tonight the timesheet. I couldn't agree more. We're finally gonna get rid of the 1920 time cards. And so thank you for your investment in the departments throughout the city.
Can I just add, the name of the other constituent who'd come forward was, according to my notes, was Sandra Mancini.
Thank you, and I'm sorry, there's certain blocks, I don't know, it was tough, so Sandra, it was great, and she and Mary have a meeting to come in and talk to me about it. I think it's a great idea, we'd love to have their help, okay? Anybody else have any public comment? Anybody from the community? Seeing nobody there, anybody else have any other comments before we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.